Hey guys, Tom here, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I wanted to go through fasting because it's something that I've talked about a little bit in other videos because of the major health benefits associated with fasting, especially for someone like me who suffers with MS. So I wanted to go through today the 7 key benefits of fasting for you and for your health. So if you like the video, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because the comments that I've got from this channel have been incredible. The amount of people that have come back to me with messages saying, your videos have really helped me get through some really dark times with MS. It's really touched me and really, you know, it's what I'm doing this for. So please do like the video and subscribe to the channel because the more people that subscribe, the more YouTube's going to push this video out to more people that I can potentially help. Because if I can make another person feel less alone in their journey with MS, then that's what this channel's all about. So please do help me out and hit like and subscribe. And other than that, let's get straight into the video.
I used to like seeing you in town. Now it's strange when you're not around. I used to like seeing you in town. Now it's strange when you're not around.
So just to clarify before I start, there are various different types of fasting, so I'm kind of chucking them all under the same umbrella, but there is intermittent fasting, which is what you do on a daily basis. So I do intermittent fasting where I have a 16-hour fasting window and then I only eat for 8 hours of the day. So I start eating at about 1 and I finish eating by 9 o'clock. And so that's something I do on a daily basis, and so there are lots of benefits associated with that. And then there's also longer term fasts, which is something that I do on a less regular basis, maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months. That's where I'll go sort of maybe 36 hours fasting where I just drink water and coffee. That's really tough. Or I do a fasting mimicking diet. And if you want to check out more about that, you can check out my other video on the fasting mimicking diet because there's some massive benefits for people suffering with MS on that diet as well. So health benefit number 1, and this is a massive one for people suffering with MS or any other autoimmune conditions. And this is that fasting reduces inflammation in the body. So as you'll probably know if you suffer with MS like me, it's an inflammatory disorder where essentially all the damage is taking place because the immune system is going mayhem and it's causing too much inflammation, which is causing damage to the nerve tissue and the nerve fibre that surrounds the nerves, and that's what's causing all these difficulties with neurological problems and sensory issues and all that kind of stuff. And so what fasting does is it really cools down all that inflammation in the body, because food by nature is inflammatory to the body because your body has to work hard to digest the food. There's so many different components that take place in there, and so by giving your body that rest from doing all that, it can just kind of chill out a little bit and all the inflammatory markers in the body are reduced. And so that's something that you definitely want to keep an eye on, especially if you suffer with an autoimmune condition or MS, just like I do. So health benefit number 2, and this applies more to the longer term fast, but you do get the benefit as well from the shorter intermittent fasting. And this is something called autophagy. And this is the process by which your body breaks down broken or damaged cells within the body and uses that as fuel. Because essentially when you're really fasted, when you've depleted all your glycogen stores in your body and in your muscles, your body will turn to basically breaking down its own cells and use that for energy. And during this process called autophagy, it tends to prefer to break down the damaged or the cells that aren't working as properly as they should, as opposed to the really healthy, strong ones. And so within this process, you're obviously getting the benefit of you're removing dirty, broken, not working very well cells from your body. And the studies that Dr. Walter Longo has shown with his fasting mimicking diet is that it actually chooses autoimmune cells as well within the immune system. And so for anyone with an autoimmune condition like MS, like me, this really is a major benefit. And it's a way as well that helps your body stay young, and it revitalizes because it activates the stem cells as well in the body to produce and replace some of those cells that it's just broken down and got rid of. So that's a massive benefit that you really don't want to miss out on. Benefit number 3, and this is that essentially fasting, what doctors and scientists have realized recently is that it's actually the time where, from an evolutionary perspective, if you think of when we were evolving, you know, thousands and hundreds of thousands of years ago, we would go long periods of time without having any food. We wouldn't be able to eat 3 meals a day and snacks in between because, you know, we would hunt, get some food, and then we'd eat it, we'd gorge on it, and then we wouldn't eat for maybe 1, maybe 2 days in a row. And so we've evolved with these fasting periods in us, and what the scientists have realized now is that those periods of fasts were really when the body managed to recuperate and rebuild itself. And that goes back to the previous point of autophagy. It's a similar kind of concept where this is the time where the body really had time to heal itself and really sort itself out and fine tune it and get it all in the fittest, get the mitochondria in as good a shape as possible. And so fasting really is essential to the overall health of the body in terms of that fact that as an evolutionary standpoint, it was the time where our bodies had time to really process and sit back and recover and recuperate and heal. Health benefit number 4 is that it helps to reduce your blood sugar levels and to increase your insulin sensitivity. And so this is because when we're eating 3, 4, 5 meals a day and all the snacks in between, our blood sugar levels are constantly raised. And so the body's sensitivity to carbs entering the body really just gets desensitized, and your body just doesn't really know, and blood sugar levels are just high all the time, skyrocketed. Whereas obviously when you're fasting, those blood sugar levels drop and your body becomes much more sensitive, which is the way that the whole insulin system should be working, it should be operating. It should just switch on when the blood sugar spikes up and vice versa. And so it helps to increase that sensitivity, which helps to keep the body away from things like type 2 diabetes, which are obviously an illness caused by too high blood sugar levels because of years of eating too many carbohydrates. And so that's one of the major benefits as well. Health benefit number 5 is that it helps the body become better fat adapted. So when you're in a fasted state, when you've gone for 15, 16, 17 hours without eating food, your body has to learn how to utilize its fat storage as energy instead of using glucose. And so it goes through a process of what's called neoglucogenesis, that's what it is. It goes through neoglucogenesis, which is converting fats into energy for the brain and for the rest of the body as well. And so your body actually essentially learns how to burn fat, and you become more of a fat burning machine, which in turn is going to help you reduce your body fat levels. And also your body just runs better off fat as well. It's been shown that especially the brain runs much better off ketones than it does off glucogen, which is obviously what you get from carbohydrates. That leads us on to point number 6, which is increased mental awareness and acuity. And so this leads us on from that last point there, where your it's fueled by fat at this point, so it's running off ketones. It increases the secretion of neuroepinephrine, which is essentially the scientific term for adrenaline in the body, and things like cortisol as well. And so your body is just so much more wired, and so this can help you. It kind of increases your fight or flight response in the body. And so if you imagine that in an evolutionary sense, when we were fasted during the day, that's when you'd need to be at your strongest, your fittest, your smartest, your quickest in mind, because if there's some potential food, you need to be the first to get there because you need to feed. And so this is why when you're in a fasted state, the body really is finely tuned and it's really on the edge. And so that can improve your mental awareness. And so that can really help with things like brain fog and things like that I know a lot of MS sufferers do suffer with as well. So last but not least, fasting will help you lose weight. Now, obviously, it's not going to help you lose weight if in the rest of your eating window you're just absolutely stuffing your face with loads and loads of calories. But the idea is that because you're fasting for a long period of time in the day, you have less time in the rest of the day to consume the same amount of calories that you normally would throughout a whole sort of 12-hour eating window that most people go through. And so this is a major benefit because it forces you to kind of eat less. And there's also the double added bonus that your body, of course, like I mentioned before, becomes better fat adapted, and so it learns to utilize fat storage in the body. So if you are in a caloric deficit, then your body will utilize that fat storage, and so you'll burn that fat, and so it's got that added benefit as well. And there's also been studies shown in mice where they've put them under a 16-hour fast, and then no matter what they eat in that 8-hour eating window, they can't put on weight at all. Now, mice are very different to humans because for them, a 16-hour fast is a lot longer in humans because their metabolisms are much quicker. But it just goes to show the benefits of fasting in terms of not putting on any weight, and in particular in losing weight as well. So those are 7 big health benefits that you can gain from adding fasting into your diet. And so please do let me know what your thoughts are on that. Let me know if you're thinking of trying out some intermittent fasting. I'd love to give you some advice. And also, like I say, check out my other videos on the fasting mimicking diet, because there are some major health benefits to be had there. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
I used to like seeing